Here's a safe, clean, dramatic short story based on your title. No graphic harming content, but full tension, twists, and power. They thought she was helpless. That was their first mistake. Two crooked officers shoved her into her own car, tied her hands, and slammed the door. Stay quiet, one hissed. Nobody's gonna believe you anyway. They didn't know who she was. Or who she used to be. As they walked away, one of them flicked a match toward the ground near the car's leaking fuel line. Let's teach her a lesson. The flame crawled forward, slow, silent, deadly. Inside the car, she lifted her head. No panic in her eyes, only calculation. Her wrists twisted once, twice. The cheap plastic restraints snapped like dry twigs. Still as careless as rookies, she whispered. She pushed her shoulder against the door, hard. The hinges burst open just as the flame reached the underside of the car. A small whoosh lit the bumper, but she was already rolling across the dirt, coming up on her feet like it was training day. And the moment she stood, the two cops turned around. And their faces drained of all color. What? How did you? She stepped forward with a calm that made both men step back. You really should have checked my file, she said quietly. I trained special forces for 10 years. Their mouths fell open. Before they could run, 3 SUVs screeched onto the road, surrounding them. Her old unit stepped out, armed, uniformed, and furious. Commander, you okay? Her captain asked. She nodded once, eyes still on the trembling officers. I'm fine, but they won't be. The cops dropped to their knees on their own, shaking so badly they could barely speak. The captain glanced at them, then back at her. You want us to take it from here? She crossed her arms. Oh, definitely. Make sure their report says exactly what happened. Her voice sharpened. They attacked a woman they thought was weak. They just didn't know she was a legend. The two officers were escorted into custody, crying before they even reached the SUV. And she walked away from the smoking car without looking back. The two crooked cops were dragged away, but the real shock came the very next morning. She walked into the precinct, calm, steady, wearing a plain jacket. No one recognized her at first, until she placed a folder on the captain's desk. He opened it, and his jaw nearly hit the floor. Inside was her old clearance level, her rank, her record, and a letter signed by the Secretary of Defense. The room went silent. You were that commander? The captain whispered. She nodded. I retired quietly. Didn't think I'd ever need to remind people. At the corner of the room, the two officers who tried to hurt her the night before were sitting in handcuffs, pale, shaking, avoiding her eyes completely. The captain slowly turned toward them. You idiots didn't just assault a civilian. He swallowed hard. You attacked one of the highest-ranked combat instructors this country has ever had. Both cops broke down at once. Please, we didn't know. She stepped closer, her voice low but steady. You knew enough to hurt someone who couldn't defend themselves. That's all I need to know. The captain stood up straight, anger rising. They're done, stripped, charged, and blacklisted. Then he turned to her. What do you want to do? She breathed out slowly. I want them to understand something. Both officers looked up, terrified. You tried to burn a woman alive, she said. Next time you see someone weaker than you, remember how fast your careers went up in flames. Neither of them could speak. She walked out of the precinct with the entire department watching. And not a single person dared to blink. Ma'am, the captain called after her, if you ever want your old position back. She smiled without turning around. No, I don't need a uniform to remind people who I am. And the door closed. She didn't go home right away. Instead, she drove to the cliff, the same one where they tried to kill her. The wind was cold, the edge still scarred from the flames. She stood there quietly, not afraid, not shaken, just remembering. Then she heard footsteps behind her. It was the captain. I figured I'd find you here, he said softly. You didn't deserve any of that. She shrugged. I've faced worse in war. He took a breath. They'll be charged with attempted murder. And if you want to testify, the whole department will back you. She looked at him for a moment, then shook her head. No, my testimony isn't for them. It's for every rookie who thinks a badge gives them power over people. The captain nodded slowly, understanding. As he turned to leave, she added, you know, if I wanted to, I could have ended them last night. He glanced back, wide-eyed. But I didn't, she said. Because real strength is knowing you can destroy someone. And choosing not to. The captain swallowed, visibly moved. You're the kind of leader this country needs. She stepped back from the cliff edge and finally smiled. I'm done fighting wars outside. Now I'm fighting a different one. And what war is that? He asked. She looked out at the horizon. The war to make sure no woman, no black person, no disabled person, ever gets treated like I was. The wind lifted her hair as she walked past him. This time, she didn't limp. She didn't flinch. She walked like someone who had already won. And deep down, even the captain